Welcome everybody to our Synergy call powered by Regenrus. And it's absolutely brilliant to be looking out and seeing so many friends and people that I don't know, but like-minded humans tuning in and sharing in this great space that we've created where we are bringing bright minds to speak to the topic of Regenerous and these products that have been created to have transformational impact in people's lives around the world. So we're just absolutely grateful and honored that you would share in this space with us tonight. And for those of you that tune in afterwards, we're very grateful for your participation as well. So what is Synergy about? Synergy is the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate parts. So if you're new to Regenerous, that's what Regenerous is all about. We have created products that are all synergistic. So we don't have singular products that do one thing. We have literally combined ancient knowings of plants and herbs and things that are natural to the planet, and using cutting edge science, we have put them into synergistic formulas so that we as human beings can excel and amplify our lives and our health. And I'm so excited tonight because we get the expertise of Liv Snoddy. And Olivia is not only a dear friend, on a professional level, I'm impressed with Olivia every single day because of how smart she is. She literally impresses me every day by her ability to speak to complicated topics around health, around beauty, around products and supplements. And she does so in such an energetic way. You know, Olivia is not someone who has an agenda of any kind other than I care about you, whoever I'm talking to, and I just want to create opportunity for you to find health. And I have so much respect for her. She is a recent graduate of the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and she has such an empowering story as to how she got there and the work that she's now doing. We are absolutely honored that she is a part of our team here at Regenerous. And I'm so excited to hear her story and to have her evaluate and talk about the ingredients that make these incredible synergistic products that Regenerous carries. So without further ado, Olivia, for those that don't know you, why don't you tell us who you are and how you've come to be with us tonight?
Thank you, Brian, for that introduction. It really is a blessing and an honor to be here tonight on this call with the Ohana, which is our Synergy powered by Regenerous family. So thank you again for that wonderful introduction. And I'm really blessed and grateful to be here. Thank you, Cindy, for having me on this team and really welcoming me with open arms the past few weeks. So I will go on in here and share my screen with everyone. And thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy days today to be here. It really means a lot. Okay. So who am I? I guess we'll start there. That's a big question, right? So my name is Liv Snoddy, as Brian mentioned before. I was born and raised in New Jersey. I still live in Jersey to this day. I'm in Bergen County. I grew up with two other sisters in a loving family. And from an early age, I took on the love of Irish step dancing. And I competed for most of my early life until I was about 16, 17 years old. And Irish dance was wonderful for me. It taught me so many life lessons about community and hard work, dedication to something that you're passionate about. And it was just such a wonderful community to be a part of. So from an early age, I learned kind of what I wanted to be part of, something that was bigger than me. And once I stopped dancing, I got really involved at my high school. I went to Mount St. Dominic in Caldwell, an all-girls school. Fun fact, the alma mater of Whitney Houston. And it was there that I got really involved in athletics and student council. And again, community was really what I was passionate about at that time. And after I graduated the Mount, I found my way to Fairfield University in Connecticut, where I studied English journalism. And Fairfield was really a blessing and a wonderful part of my life. I was very involved there at school as well. I met my husband, Mike Franco, at school as well. So many blessings came to me out of Fairfield. And again, that community aspect of Fairfield, what I was involved with, really taught me the values of community and having that sense of belonging to something. And after I graduated, I did a bit of traveling abroad. I went to Jamaica for a service trip. I visited a friend down there who was participating in a year-long postgraduate service. And when I was down there, I really realized, wow, like I need to be giving back to more and more communities. There's so much need in this world. There's so much need, in our local communities, in our communities abroad that really need our help. And I loved being on that mission trip. It really meant a lot to me and made a lasting impact on my life. So after school, I started working at a jewelry company it was a startup company. Started kind of working with customers, building relationships, getting into the fashion world, which I love. That's a side passion of mine when I'm not talking about health. And while I was working at this jewelry company, I started volunteering at a local nonprofit consignment shop where all the proceeds benefited victims of domestic violence. And it was really there that I really started to realize that I wanted to be in a work environment that gave back to something bigger than me. Having such a blend of being able to work, make a living, earn an income while also giving back, that really stood out to me. And it's interesting to see where life has kind of taken me to now being with Regenerous, which we'll get to later. So again, after Design Consign, which was the name of the store, I then went on to become a store manager for a UK retail company, Ted Baker London. I managed 2 Ted Baker stores at a local mall here in New Jersey, and I was there for about 4 years. And then 2020 happened, and as we know, 2020 brought a lot of unexpected things for many people. Unfortunately, a lot of those people may have suffered, death, devastation, loss. It was really, really a tough time for many people, and I'm definitely aware of that. However, there were also many other people that it was really a blessing. People finally started to slow down. They started to take time for themselves. They started to spend more time with family. People were finally cooking at home. People really started to kind of hone in on themselves, on their health, on their well-being. And it was really during that time that I realized, I need to be doing something more than what I'm doing right now. I loved my retail job, but I realized that it really wasn't a sustainable work environment for me. And so in August of last year, I decided to resign from Ted Baker. And at that time, I had been in my 6-month accelerated program at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to become a health coach. And here we are today. So why did I become a health coach? Few reasons, but the largest reason is for my particular journey that I have been on for about the past 10 years. Ever since the latter half of college, I started developing some health challenges, mostly in the gut, which, as we know, if some of us have health issues, most of them do start in the gut, right? Because about 80% of our immune system actually resides in our stomachs. So from there on, it kind of just spiraled into all these other complications. And I ended up kind of going down this rabbit hole of doctor's visits and testing, and no one could quite figure out what was going on with me in my body. It was extremely frustrating. But fortunately, I was finally diagnosed with something, which I really wanted to. I was kind of in search of that because I just was so frustrated. I just needed to know what was going on. And my endocrinologist, my thyroid doctor at the time, diagnosed me with Hashimoto's. And she actually recommended that I visit her Ayurvedic practitioner. And at the time, I was like, what is this Ayurveda stuff? This is weird. This is alternative. How is this going to help me? I was really kind of closed-minded to it at first, but I trusted her. And I said, let's do this. So that was really the first introduction for me into this herbal medicine, holistic health, looking at the body as one complete being and not just having all these, separate organs in our body. We see a stomach doctor for this, we see a heart doctor for that, we see a lung specialist for this. That is a very slippery slope to go down. And that was one that I had been going down. So this to me was very optimistic. And I realized through that there was nothing alternative about those types of approaches. These are methods and ways that have been studied for thousands of years. And I quickly became totally enthralled in what was happening here with my Ayurvedic practitioner. I also did go down the functional medicine route, which to me at the time was very helpful because they figured out other things that were going on in my body. But again, going down that road, a lot of people can get trapped in these diagnoses. And for a bit, I was as well. But throughout my journey, I always felt like I had to be my own advocate. That was something that I really stood by time and time again. It was definitely difficult at times. I didn't have always the support of family and friends that I needed to, but I really stayed true to what I was going after and what I wanted to attain. So I ended up enrolling at IIN and wanting to become a health coach because I had learned so much through my personal journey that I really wanted to share it with others. I didn't want others to have to go through what I went through. And I really, throughout this journey, realized that the body can heal itself. If it's given the right nourishment, the body is capable of doing unbelievable things. And I truly found, the understanding of what health and healing actually is. And that's what led me to making this major career change. So what is a health coach exactly? People ask me that all the time. Are you a nutritionist? Are you a practitioner? What are you? What do you do? So I would say the biggest part of what a health coach is really is, we're kind of that gap. We fill in those gaps. We're not the doctor. We're not the nutritionist. We kind of lay, I would say, between them, right? We're not there to make diagnoses, but we're also not there to, figure out a specific food plan for somebody based on, blood work and diagnoses, et cetera. So we really look at primary and secondary foods in our lives, which I'll get to in a moment here. But we're also there to provide this unconditional presence, a safe space, a non-judgment zone where we truly honor the client's bio-individuality. We realize how unique every single person's body is, and we really cater to that. We also take that big picture approach, more of like a functional integrative physician would, where we really try to get to the root cause, what is causing all of these problems. And we want to empower the clients to become self-sufficient. At the end of the day, by me taking somebody down, through a 6-month health coaching program, by the end of it, we really want them to make lasting behavioral changes. This is not something that, we want to continuously, taking people through our program. We want them by the end of the 6 months to be self-sufficient, to take on these practices themselves and really live it out to their fullest. So what we really focus on is this concept of primary and secondary foods. So people may think, oh, primary foods must be broccoli, kale, right? All those healthy things that we want to eat. But no, not necessarily. And this was really eye-opening to me when I was going through IIN. Primary foods actually is really the circle of life. It is those things in our lives, in our day-to-day, that's really making the difference, such as spirituality, creativity, finances, career, education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, social life, and joy. When we look at those things, that's really, at the end of the day, what is going to make a difference in our lives. You can eat all the broccoli, kale, brown rice, you can eat all those things every day of your life. But, if something is off in your home environment, if something is off, with your career, if you're working 60-hour work weeks and you're not sleeping properly, you're never going to feel right, So this is such a great tool to really look at the balances and imbalances in our lives. And then I also wanted to share with you the integrative nutrition plate, because I just find this to be such a powerful example of, what we should be looking for in terms of our ideal plate, right? It's not just about the whole grains and the fruits, but it's really about the physical activity, the relationships, spirituality, and career. So I love that. And also water being a big part of that. So why Regenerous? Like we mentioned before, this has been a new venture for me. I've been welcomed with open arms the past 4 weeks, I believe. It feels like forever at the same time, but it really was just recently that I came on. But Regenerous really, they truly align with my personal value of what medicine looks like to me. There's nothing alternative about it. These holistic herbal remedies that support the body's natural abilities to heal and maintain homeostasis have really stood the test of time. Even looking back to ancient Chinese medicine 4,000 years ago is such a powerful example. Regenerous provides nutritional supplements that promote integrative whole body health through synergistic blends. And again, like I had mentioned before, I'm really about the whole body. This is not about just working on one area, but the entire being. All of Regenerous's ingredients are pure and free. There's no heavy metals, no pesticides, no harsh chemicals, no fertilizers. And one of the things that I'm most excited about too, in addition to all the wonderful nutritional supplements, is the certified non-toxic skincare that has powerful plant ingredients. And, unfortunately, a lot of our products that we use for beauty, for makeup, our soaps, our cleaners, they have so many chemicals in them, and those can really do damage to the body. Our skin is our largest organ, right? We need to be protecting what's going in, and putting chemicals into our bodies are only going to disrupt the body. They're endocrine disruptors. So the fact that we have this certified non-toxic skincare line is amazing. And one of the other main reasons why I joined Regenerous and really took to it were some of the technologies that we use. And these are just a few to name, but there are more. The liposomal technology is quite fascinating. And this allows for our nutritional supplements to cross the blood-brain barrier and get right to work at a cellular level. The product is 4 to 6 times more potent because of this and that higher absorption rate. Our hemp is vapor distilled, which is amazing. It's such a clean process. It's a clean way to extract the full spectrum hemp, ensuring that the integrity of the entire plant is kept. And last but certainly not least, the Regeneros. And this is our aloe that's in all of our products, and I'll get to it a little bit in the next slide, but it has this higher polysaccharide level, which truly makes it unique. So there's integrity that you can count on with our products. And the last point that I wanted to mention is the Regenerous Cares. Again, for me, that was such a powerful aspect of Regenerous and the mission, and the fact that 4% of sales go back to people, planet, and animals is quite profound. And I'm so happy to be a part of that. So the mission is fulfilled throughout every step of the process, from the sourcing to the manufacturing. So just a few of the ingredients that I wanted to mention. These are ingredients that I believe in that are for optimal whole body health. And again, as a disclaimer, I do want to mention that these products and statements are not intended to treat, cure, prevent, or mitigate disease or any medical condition. So these are just a few of our ingredients that are in some of our products. Again, there are many more, but these are just some that I wanted to highlight. So the full spectrum hemp extract, this is quite a powerful anti-inflammatory. The full spectrum enhances potency and keeps the integrity of the plant and all of its benefits. And this also activates the cannabinoid receptors, which regulate balance and homeostasis within the body. The milk thistle extract, which is in our rest formula, provides excellent liver support and helps with detoxification, which is excellent for, while we're sleeping, the body is doing its fabulous work that it does every night. Magnesium is also in our rest formula, and it's a calming mineral. It supports heart health, inflammation, circulation within the body, and blood sugar levels. Turmeric, another powerful herb, supports digestive and liver function while increasing blood circulation and fluid motion, especially via the lymph system. Ginger, powerful anti-inflammatory, affects the respiratory, digestive, and circulatory systems. Glutathione protects against oxidative stress while decreasing muscle damage and reducing recovery time. Phosphatidylcholine complex, this is quite an amazing one. This is a primary building block to help build cell walls and properly permeable, which means they're not building these walls too thin or too thick. It's just perfect. And we don't get enough of that in our diet. So to supplement with that is quite powerful and needed within the body. And the Regenero, like I had mentioned before, is a powerful immune modulator in the system. And it's in that spectrum that we get the most benefits from. It has more cell signaling capabilities. And I also wanted to talk about some of the herbs that are in the skincare, because I do find these to be quite unique. I have been somebody that's gone down the non-toxic skincare for the past 3 years roughly. And some of these herbs I had actually never heard of myself, and I find them to be quite fascinating. So I did want to mention some of them. And again, these are just a few of them that are included. But Canadian willow herb, it's an amazing anti-irritant. It's a soothing agent for skin. It reduces redness. It's anti-acne. Glacial silt, it's a natural exfoliant, which removes environmental pollutants and toxins, which is so important for today in the day and age, especially for us, for those who live in cities and more metropolitan areas. While it also stimulates the regeneration of damaged skin tissue, so it's actually rebuilding the skin at a cellular level. Neroli is an antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. It's also pain relieving. Apple cell is also great for aging skin as it rejuvenates. Mullein flower is a natural softening and anti-wrinkle agent on aging skin. It improves the skin elasticity and it smooths fine lines. Kakudu plum, I'm fascinated with because it's such a rich source of vitamin C, and it even forms proline, which is an amino acid that makes collagen. So for anti-aging, this is incredible. Date seed reduces oxidative stress in the human skin. Resurrection plant, which comes out of Mexico, promotes moisture retention at a very high level, actually. It's antioxidant action, and it protects, repairs, and improves the skin tone. Ectoin protects also against environmental stressors. It restructures cell membranes of skins, and it soothes skins, and it's an anti-inflammatory. And last but not least, squalane oil, which is unique in the sense that it actually mimics the skin's natural oils. So it's not going to make you any more oily than you are or you aren't. It's a natural antioxidant, and it also has anti-tumor properties. And again, I'd like to mention these products and statements are not intended to treat, cure, prevent, mitigate, or prevent any disease or medical condition. And last, I'd just like to thank all of you for coming in tonight on this call. It was really a blessing. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Brian, for welcoming me with open arms. And please, I would love to connect with all of you. You can find me on my Instagram page, which is Heal with Liv, or feel free to email me at osnoddy@regenerous.com. Brian, I will send it back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Olivia. That was just brilliant. And you have such a, like I said, you impress me every day because your ability to just speak to the benefits of these plants and herbs and the synergistic formulas and how we can all benefit from them is an exceptional gift. And we're all honored and grateful that you did that for us tonight. And I know that this is just a beginning of an absolutely abundant impact that you're going to have in the world. And we're just so grateful that we're all starting here together. So thank you, Olivia. That was really profound. Thank you. Thank you. And anyone who's out there today that would love to make a comment or maybe ask Olivia a question, please just start waving at me or giving me some signals that you want to say something, and I will call on you, and we'd love to hear from you. Carolyn.
Hey, thanks, Brian. Just I wanted to comment, Liv, that was a beautiful, absolutely beautiful presentation. And it was wonderful learning about you, your background, and what you're bringing to Regenerous. And I feel like you really captured the products and all the benefits in both the wellness products and the skincare products. I've been associated with Regenerous now for about 3 years, and just am absolutely, they're a daily part of my regimen, both in the wellness piece and the skincare. And I just feel like you did such a fantastic job capturing all that. So just wanted to say, great job. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Carolyn. Anybody else with a comment or a question? Yes.
Hey, Liv.
Sorry, I saw Kimberly waving and then.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Oh, well, hello, everyone. And Olivia, that was incredible. So I'm going to echo a lot of what you already heard from Carolyn. So instead of doing that, I'm going to say you did such an incredible job of really grasping, because many of us on the call have been using the products since day one, and we are seeing the results. So I'm really excited to hear, as you're starting this journey of using the product line, as you start sharing it with others, what the top 3 things that you are capturing, because you shared so much great information, that for those on the call that are just starting or interested in Regenerous, what would you say, like, here's the go-to? Because I could share mine, but I don't want to be biased, but would love to hear, like, right, everyone on the call is like, well, we love everything, but it's like you go out to eat and you're like, what should I have? It's my first time going here. And people are like, well, you're at a really great place. Everything's good. And you're like, really? And it really is. And that's the case here. It is all really good. I have my favorites for my family. My whole family uses it. So just, from your perspective, coming in new, what are some of the things that drew you in that you're excited to share the most?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking product end first, I am really excited about the skincare, like I had mentioned before, but with the nutritional supplements, I don't know, it's such a tie. It's tough, but I'm really excited about the rest formula, because sleep for so many people is such a struggle. And I truly believe that the blend, the synergistic blend that's in that particular formula, can really work wonders for a lot of people. So I'm really excited to get that into the hands of some people to start trying it out. And I'm also really excited about Regen, specifically with the Regenelow. As somebody who's kind of suffered with digestive issues, and I've made tremendous strides, but that's something that I'm really intrigued myself. So that's what I'm most excited about, and just kind of sharing what we stand for as a company and our mission. It's amazing to have these unbelievable offerings, but there's so much more to it. So if we can continue to spread the message of what we're trying to do here, it's going to be very impactful, I believe. So.
And well, great points. I would have started off with the same, even though I love the skincare line, but at the same time, thank you so much for bringing attention to Regenerous Cares, because we're doing so much good there. The fact that every single product we give back to people, animals, and the environment. And I might be biased because I help lead that, but let me tell you, everyone, join in because it's an amazing, and we have some really fantastic adventures to come. We went on a wellness initiative in November of 2019, and we have lots of exciting things that get involved. When you're buying the product, you're giving back to so many different areas, but no, there's so much more to come where we can all give back together.
Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. Always at the forefront, and thank you for all your leadership in Regenerous Cares. And Olivia, great answers. Was that Phil that I heard from? Were you? Yeah, Phil, go for it, man. You might need to unmute yourself again.
Okay. Hey, Olivia, thanks for being on the call and all the valuable information. So you had mentioned endocrinologist, and I've got some thyroid issues, and I haven't really seen a lot of changes. I've been on the product for a while, so not trying to talk specific diseases, but can you just elaborate a little more on thyroid and what you're doing to kind of correct your own issues if you have them?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Great question. As we know, the thyroid is such a major part of the body, right? And our entire system. However, I have noticed just in my own personal journey and journeys of others that it is often linked with other struggles and challenges, especially gut problems, because like I had mentioned before, 80% of the immune system does reside in the gut. And I truly believe that it was my gut first that went off that led to me developing that autoimmune disease. So I would first, just recommend, or what I did was really getting strict about my diet. And not in a sense of like, okay, I can't eat that, but more, okay, what can I add into my diet now? What can I add into my day-to-day that's going to benefit my thyroid function? So, adding in more vegetables, adding in just more whole foods, kind of avoiding those processed, anything that's inflammatory to the gut, right? Gluten can be for a lot of people, dairy for a lot of people, sugar, I think is the evil threat and everything. And there's so many hidden sugars and so many things that we eat on a day-to-day basis. So once I started changing the way that I eat into a more whole foods approach, nothing really processed anymore, my thyroid levels, I had them tested actually at the end of last year, and they were completely normal. And I have never been on thyroid medication. So I truly believe that it is the power of healing the gut first, and by doing so, working through the food and making that a top priority.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, great question, Phil. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Great question. Awesome answer, Olivia. And for everyone out there, Olivia has a really awesome Instagram social media channel, and she is an amazing cook. Like, I just go to her page. She's always posting incredible tips and pictures of things that actually she's creating. So if you're ever in the need of like inspiration or guidance, Olivia is really very talented and skilled. So check out her Instagram. Carol Montgomery, I saw you waving.
Hey, Brian. Actually, I'm following up with with Phil's question and with Liv's answer. I had the opposite to Hashimoto's, which is Graves. And I did not have any issue with my gut at the time. It was stress. It was totally stress. And when I got rid of the stress, which I did completely, it all went away. And I never went on. Well, I did go on medications, but I'm off medications, have been for years. So I think stress is such a powerful thing. It's a killer.
Absolutely, Carol. I could not agree more, and that's why I am so passionate about that circle of life. I never really had even thought about that, honestly. But we really need to take that time out for ourselves and really settle the system. Because until we do that, if we're constantly on that go, 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 it's, you know, you're never allowing your body to restore, right? The only really times our body is restoring is when we sleep, and then when we're meditating or practicing yoga. So I'm so happy to hear that, Carol, that, you know, through your own personal work, I mean, that's hard work, you know.
And
that,
Regenerous, of course, calms you. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I love these products.
do you take all of them?
Do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carol. Great testament. You know, for anyone here tonight or anyone, you know, listening to the recording, self-care and the responsibility to do so. And, you know, that responsibility is hard. So when you can find someone like Olivia or, you know, tune into these calls, it can be a great guide and a help to get you on that journey so that down the road you can tell a story like Carol Montgomery or Olivia, where it took time, it took effort, it was not all easy, but they're here today to share an incredible story and a message of hope and faith in yourself, that any person at any point in time can live the life exactly the way they choose it. And that's what this call is all about. So anyone else out there with a comment, maybe just one more comment and question if there is one, and we'll wrap up for the night.
I just have to say, I did go check out your Instagram page. So I am now a follower of those meal pictures. It's like, anybody who knows me knows I love taking pictures of food. So I'm like really hungry right now. So thank you for the inspiration. That is amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jess. And thank you so much, Olivia, for your brilliance, your incredible heart for humanity, for taking on I don't even want to call it a career, a calling, because I know how big this is for you. And you're literally at the beginning of something that's going to impact so many people around the world, and just honored to be here at the beginning of the journey. And from all of us at Regenerous, thank you for being a part of the team. Thank you for sharing your message with everyone here tonight and with everyone tuning in afterwards. We're so grateful for you to be a part of this Ohana. We are here to make a big difference in the world, and it only happens through all of us joining in together. We do believe in this phrase, Ubuntu, out of Africa, which literally means I am because we are. And that is a driving force of Regenerous. It always will be. That's our commitment to all of you. So I'm just going to highlight our next call that's coming up. I'm going to share my screen, and our brilliant founder, leader, guide, Cindy Tysinger will sing us home, let us know a bit about our upcoming call. So I'm going to share my screen, and over to you, Cindy.
Great, thank you. I'm waiting for you to pull it up. If you could make it larger, Brian, please.
Is that
awesome? Perfect. Thank you so much. We are so excited. And first off, I want to say, Olivia, thank you. I am grateful beyond measure with my heart that you're part of our Ohana and one of our amazing ambassadors. I know because of you, our lives, we're going to change so many lives together. So thank you. Thank you for choosing to walk this journey with us, and knowing we're going to do some really beautiful and wonderful things to make a difference in our world. And these new calls of, getting amazing, profound speakers on them, we're really excited. So we had Synergy this week. Last call, we had Limitless, which was our nonprofit that we're supporting in Uganda. And in April, it's Earth Month. So looking at who could speak, who could we get to speak on this amazing topic that we all really truly want to live up to in our mission of people, planet, and animals, the planet side and the environment, is Nev Hyman. He was brought to us by a dear friend who is on this call, Carol Montgomery, who synchronicity happened and she met him on a plane trip. And so she'll be able to share more on the story or on this call. But because of her meeting him, it just opened this door where she spoke, where he actually spoke at one of the summits for Carol that she hosted for Green Village Green, a green summit. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He actually came and stayed in our home for a couple of weeks in Denton. He is doing some phenomenal work. He's an ex-surfer, and he is actually a surf shaper, especially he loves surfing, but he is really, he's in the Hall of Fame for shaper, which means he shapes the surfboards and makes them. But what they were seeing was just the amount of waste, which you can see down in the picture when they were surfing, the trash and things. So it was like, it was a calling for him to, you know, really make a profound difference in this world. And you know, having our water filled with polluted with plastics and other trash was just unacceptable. So he has a company called Nev House, as many as well others. In 2017, he actually won first place of 25,000 enterprises that was presented at Duke of York Pitch Palace. He won first place, and that's you can see in the top left. And the bottom right corner is the homes, and they take all types of recycle. So all 7 types of recycle, if you're familiar with that program, they actually take them in. They don't have to be all clean first, and through their plants and how they can remanufacture what Nev is holding in his hand is what the houses are made of. And they actually have put these houses up in 1 to 2 days. So literally when a hurricane or a typhoon or something hits just this devastating area, it gives housing as quickly as possible back to those that are devastated by tragedy. So I love what he's doing. I'm honored that he's going to be on our call. Thank you to Carol for introducing us to him, but please tune in. You're going to hear his story, you're going to hear what they're doing, and can help us get involved, because at Regenerous Cares, this is what we're about and what we want to do. So it is next, it's second Wednesday on the 14th, 7:30 p.m., same time as this call, CST. Well, please register. We have it out on our social media. You know, if you could also like Regenerous, as far as Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever you like, we update there all our calls. So we hope you can join us for that call, because he is an amazing man. He's got a great heart and great sense of humor. You guys will love him. So join us for the next Limitless call.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And again, thank you to everyone for joining in our Ohana this evening. For everyone that's watching later, thank you for being a part of our incredible journey together. So good night, everybody.